Sunday. Every Sunday, 12:30 in the afternoon, India time. Or if it is a celebratory episode like our 100, 200, 250, and very slowly, very soon, our 300th episode will come up. Those are celebratory episodes which are done, as a celebration, as a book launch, milestone achievements. Otherwise, every Sunday, 12:30 India time, we are online speaking with a person, speaking with a change maker, speaking with somebody who can add value to our lives, something we can learn from him or her from their personal experiences. So, in this 282 prior weeks, we've spoken with coaches, trainers, speakers, doctors, nurses, athletes, you name it, and every person in every possible sphere of life has been on our show. In fact, we have a record where every continent of this world has been represented on the Bloom Sunday Talk Show. And when I say every continent, it includes Antarctica. Yes, we had a scientist who had visited Antarctica twice, having stayed there for months together. So across the globe, everybody has graced our platform from each and every continent, from each and every country, on each and every topic. And today is a special topic with a special guest. On the 283rd Sunday Bloom Talk Show, we are speaking with Parvej Siraj. Parvej is a business transformation and a strategy leader. What does he say? He's saying everything is possible. There is a way by which we can unlock immense potential which is there inside all of us. And let me ask Abhijit, my co-host and our co-founder of Bloom, to start this program by introducing, telling us a little bit about Parvej and taking the show ahead. Go ahead, Abhijit.
Sure. Thank you, Deepak. So Parvej, first, as a school kid or as someone growing up, and I believe you come from a science background, you're an engineer and an MBA. So how come you're speaking about mindset, you're speaking about transformation, you're speaking about attitudes, beliefs, communication. So was this evolution in your case also to where you are now? So how was this journey?
Okay, so Abhijit, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me in this platform and allowing me to share my experience and my journey with distinguished members across all the locations. Coming back to the topic that you just asked me, yes, this is a question which I oftenly being asked, that coming from a science background and then doing engineering and MBA, and how come you're talking about mindset, belief system, communication, all that stuff? Even many times people think I'm from HR background, by the way. Okay.
Yeah.
So, so there is a very interesting journey, and I would take this opportunity at this platform to share it. Right. So if you talk about this topic, everything is possible, unlock our potential. So I shifted to Mumbai 4 or 5 years back. And after a couple of years, my daughter, she's right now 8 years old. So 2 years back, she was 6 years old, and she went to a birthday party. And when she came back, she was a little upset. So I just asked her, okay, her name is Aisha. I asked her, what happened to you? So she was not willing to share anything. And she was sitting at the corner and kind of sobbing or not feeling well. I again probed, I asked multiple times. And when I casualed, and she said, Dad, I went to the birthday party and there was a guy, he was doing some activities and he was spinning ball on his finger. So I said, so what? She said, Dad, I said, can I also try? And that guy told me, it is impossible for you to spin the ball on your finger. I said, okay, so what? She said, yes, Dad, it was really possible because I tried a couple of times, I failed. And that hit me hard because I did not want that point of time that this word called impossible or difficult should even enter into her vocabulary. So I said, Aisha, that guy has been doing this activity for last 10, 15 years. He's an expert, right? So that's why he was doing it. and you have never done it. That's why you are finding it a little difficult. So she said, no, dad, I really tried. It was impossible. And when I asked the same thing or told the same concept three, four times, she threw the thing on my head and said, Dad, if you feel it is not impossible, can you spin the ball? And I said, oh, I think now the ball is in my court. I said, okay, Aisha, give me some time. I cannot do it right now, but give me just some time. Because till that point of time, I have never even held the basketball. The only game which I played is, most of us would have played, this is a gully cricket, right? So what I did, I bought three basketballs. One I kept in my home, second in my car, and third in my office. And I kept on practicing, started learning from different people, from YouTube and all that stuff. Then on 1st of March, when her birthday, I showed spinning the ball on my finger. So
Oh,
what it did, it just changed her whole perspective about things are not impossible. It may look difficult in the beginning, but it will not be impossible. And that is actually journey which started in 1st March 2022, you can say. And when I introspected this, and I thought like, okay, what actually happened in last 3.5 months, I realized there are many things which I unearthed. And that's where the point came in, like, if we have a right mindset, if we have a belief system and the right communication, maybe we will little bit more talk about communication, but it is not like verbal communication, but a little bit different later on. But that's how this journey started. And now, after discussing on this topic, and I am also invited in many colleges like IEMs and other places, I talk about this topic, so everybody feels I'm a HR guy or I'm a transformation guy. But actually, this area, or the, you can say, the entry of this area started from this particular episode.
oh. So this was basically just a recent, I would say, an event which led you to the action which maybe transformed you. So you felt you could transform others. So basically, it's nothing is impossible. It's impossible also if you break it when they say is I am possible. So
Yeah.
yes, so while I would say it's a one activity, you would say, or one event on learning how to basically spin a foot basketball on one finger, and while it would have led to a lot of practice and discipline, determination, and dedication, but it would still need a lot of intellect or a lot of reflection to maybe convert it into something which could be a motivational talk or a motivational story to maybe talk in schools and colleges. So, how did that come about? Because a lot of us do a lot of things as something as a goal post, but
Mhm.
most of them don't really look at the inward journey and go around sharing experiences or maybe helping others even achieve that. So, what prompted you to be uh, the inspiring or the motivational thought leader or the speaker?
Right. So, Bijit, as there is a saying from very known author or person called Rumi, he said, "What you seek is actually seeking you." So maybe I was destined for this journey. So
Yeah.
in this process, what I realized that, and also maybe I'll just stay back. I also heard one statistics which came up, that on average we perform only 10% of our potential. And when I
Yes.
connected the dot with my story, I realized that initially I may also have thought that yes, spinning the ball is impossible because I have never learned that. I did not know that. But I took it as a challenge and say, okay, I can do that. And also there is a hypothesis that between impossible and possible there is a very thin line. So for example, many times, like if you take the example of lock and key, if we have a right key, we can very easily open the lock. Otherwise, we may try millions of options, many of combinations will not work. So between impossible and possible, there is a very thin line. And let's take the case of some mathematical questions as well. So, for example, if we ask any maybe question, initially it may look very difficult, very impossible. But the moment we get an answer, it looks, oh my God, it was so simple, right? So there is a very thin line, and the thin line is nothing but the way we look at it, the way we look at the problem statement, the way we have a right mindset or the belief that we have. And that is what it distinguishes. So, coming back to the hypothesis part that we perform 10% of our potential, if we make it from 10 to 20%, actually we are doubling our potential. And that's how, for last 3 4 years, when I saw a very big transformation myself by working on right mindset, right belief system, and again internal communication. How do I talk to myself day in day out? Am I feeding positive energy to myself or negative energy? So, for example, if I get up on Sunday and say, oh, what a bad day it is, my whole day will go in the same frequency. But if I get up in the morning and say, oh, let's do something immensely good, such a beautiful day, such a beautiful morning, let's spend time with family or something else, the whole day will be a very different thing altogether. So it's all how do we and what do we feed to our brain.
Yeah, perfect. So you said about there being a very thin line between knowing how to do and actually doing it. So that little space in between, which maybe leads to a procrastination or maybe leads to an action to do that. So one is how does one identify that space or just cross that little line, as one may say?
Mm-hmm.
While you talked about belief, you talked about positive energy, you talked about attitude. So a lot of us know a lot of these things, but still they don't do it. So it's the gap is just not in the knowing; it's in the doing. So
Right.
how can one overcome that?
Yeah. So, Abhijit, I agree that this is not a new concept, not a new phenomena. Millions of books have been written in the past and would be done in the future as well. We have so many stories talking about, but but the main you can say building block is nothing but an action and the awareness. Until and unless any individual, be it me or anyone else, until unless we make that yes, this is something which is stopping me. Is it a part of my belief system? It is a part of my own self doubt or something. I'll not work it out. Right. So I'll just give you an example. So I mean, even though I was saying I belong to Lucknow, but actually there is a place called Modaha. It's a very small place where I belong to. So I studied in a Hindi medium government school till 8th standard. And then from here, I moved to Ahmedabad, where I completed my 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and then I did my engineering. So after completing my engineering, to a long time, I had a belief or self doubt that because I come from a Hindi medium background, I'll not be able to speak English fluently, especially in front of people. So forget about public speaking. Even talking to an unknown person in English was a Herculean task. But one fine day, I just listed down my biggest 10 fears that I have. And the top one was public speaking. So what I did, I made a plan or charted out a plan that what I will do in next 6 months to 1 year. And without any failure, like, ensuring that that plan is executed. And slowly and gradually, I started seeing the results. And when I started seeing the results, automatically I was getting more motivation, more kind of confidence that yes, I can do that. And then in a span of 3 to 4 years, I became a very different person altogether. So it's all about action and awareness. And I know in today's world, there is a beautiful word being used called manifestation. I think there is hardly a difference between manifestation and a daydreaming. The only difference is nothing but action. If we visualize something I want to become, but I don't take any action and sit idle, it's just a daydreaming. But I visualize something, I want to become something, and keep on working hard without any interruption, without any kind of botheration. Automatically, law of attraction will kind of match.
Right. So you also talked about potential and that most of us in life hardly achieve maybe 10% of potential, which I fully agree. And even if we go to 20%, maybe double of that, I think it'll be a great achievement, I think, in our life. So being a uh, engineer, I would.
Abhijit, I'm losing your voice. I'm not sure it's from my side or Deepak, you're also not able to hear him.
No, no, he'll be back. Let's wait for a few
Uh,
seconds.
no worries.
Was someone being fascinated with numbers, can you find out exactly or maybe you could what life and based
Abhijit,
on what skills we have?
Abhijit, you may
What?
want to repeat the
Yeah.
question from the beginning. We lost you for that last half a minute.
Okay. Okay. So while he talked about potential that we only achieve only 10% of our potential and we could easily move up to 20% with some belief, attitude, action, not daydreaming, but actually manifesting it. So, can we actually find out what our potential is? Current potential versus true potential. Can this someone with an engineering background actually measure it?
So, I may not have the right answer, Abhijit, but yes, as the statistic says, or because this survey was done in almost 150 countries, and this is what the survey outcome came up, that on average we perform 10% of our potential. So 100% is a bar, probably it's an ideal case, right? But yes, there is a massive
Yeah.
opportunity that we have from 10% to 100%. So even though we don't reach to 100%, but at least if we move from 10 to 30, there is a 3 times multiplication. And it's not only on one side, like professionally, but it can be personally as well. So we may start enjoying our time, utilizing it fully. Maybe we can start pursuing our own career dreams, our own passion or hobbies. There are so many dimensions we can start doing it. But the issue what I have seen, heard by virtue of meeting a lot of people, those who are stuck in their career and all this stuff, one thing that come up very clearly is they suffer from self-doubt a lot, and because of which they don't even attempt to start. And one classical example I would like to quote is like uh, you know uh, a chained elephant. So when an elephant is jumbo, a small baby, right? So he tried couple of times to break the chain, but not able to do that. And when it becomes a giant elephant after 10-15 years, still it is not, he is not able to break it. Doesn't mean he doesn't have a potential, but because he feels that 10 years back I could not try, and that's why I cannot do it today as well. And because of which he doesn't even able to do that. That's how the problem of
Yeah.
belief system plays into our life.
So again, we may need to achieve our potential. There is something we may need even to do some learning. So maybe that comes in learning something where we learn and acquire new skills.
Yes.
So, how would skill building help enhance our potential and reach basically then a different topic which we've also broached in depth in a couple of our talks is then help you actually achieve the purpose of your life?
Yes. So, Abhijit, one thing which I have realized is like uh, the fundamental, the first step for any transformation is the awareness. I think we are so much bound by what others are doing. We don't look inside. We don't spend enough time to see what exactly we are, what makes us happy, what is our purpose. I have seen so many people around me. If just ask me, what is the purpose? How do you want to see yourself when you turn 60 years or 65 years old? They completely turn blank. Forget about by the time they will turn 60, if you ask you what you will want to become in next 5 years, they don't have an answer. Now imagine today we are standing on 18th of January. Every 1st Jan, we make so many resolutions. And most of our
Yeah.
resolutions are either driven by what Abhijit is doing, what Deepak ji is doing, what Milind ji is doing. and it has nothing to do with what Parvez actually wants to do. So until unless what Parvez, what will make me happy, or what is my purpose, what I want to become in next 10 years, 15 years, it will not drive me hard. It will not push me to get up early in the morning every day at 5 o'clock in the morning and go for a ride or so, go for a walk or so. So what will happen? In just by the end of 31st of Jan, for, first month, my entire passion, energy on resolution will go away. And then next year again, I will sit down and write down few more resolutions, and the cycle will keep on going on. Right? So it is very important to first, number one, identify what is my purpose, which is a part of awareness, and then looking at back, what all resources do I need? Do I really need some additional resources, like in the form of some training or skill set where I'm lacking, or not? Until unless I have a awareness in terms of where do I stand, how will I chart a plan in terms of where do I want to go it? Where do I want to go?
Fine. Fine. So I believe this is also uh, the title of your book. Start? Why make a resolution when you can create a revolution? So, how do you move from maybe just achieving a resolution or not breaking a resolution? I believe 90% of the ones who would have made a resolution on 31st would already have broken it by 18th. So,
Yes.
how do you create a revolution instead?
Yes, so Abhijit, if I go back to the topic of my book, which is why make resolutions when you can bring a revolution, the theme was that every year we will make resolutions like I will reduce 5 kg, okay? I will improve 5% of my income, whatever. These are such a tiny resolutions per se, wherein our potential, what we can do is immense. And that is why we say that instead of going for small resolutions that, okay, I will walk 5 kilometers every day, or I will reduce 5 kg in a year or so. I mean, these are all very small things. We have much more potential. And once upon a time, when I was working with Wipro, I had the opportunity to interact with Azim Premji. And he said, if people don't laugh at your dreams, they are not worth dreaming. And
No.
it actually struck so hard. I still believe, I know, I still think that, okay, why should we think about very small resolutions when we have a potential to bring a revolution? That's where this book talk about, I mean, no, it came up in this theme, and it talks about the whole journey. It has a ASCEND framework, which start from awareness and ends with domination.
Oh, so it's ascend is also that you ascend or go up in life, or you
Yes,
go up
so
in personal and
yeah.
professional growth.
So it's a framework of A, S, C, E, and D. A starts with the like awareness, S is shift, C is clarity that way, and then N, D is narrative and domination. So and one more thing probably I would like to touch upon is not being asked that many times we play a very big victim card. Suppose if something doesn't go well, we keep on blaming our environment. Oh, it has happened because of Vijit. I was good at that time. It has happened because of Millen or someone else also. In my view, anything that happens, good or bad, we should take the whole accountability on our head. So if something goes well, I pat my back, celebrate. If something doesn't go well, it goes wrong, I fail, I take the whole ownership completely. I don't blame any factor around. And that has given a lot of empowerment to me that yes, it shall not, even though if I fall, I will say that, okay, something would have happened. So it gives me an opportunity to improvise also in this journey.
So initially, everything starts with, and I fully agree, it starts with awareness.
Yes.
And what I would also believe that yes, a lot of people are also aware of a lot of things, but after being aware, to basically accept those things and that
Mm-hmm.
they need to change,
Mm-hmm.
that they need to act actually,
Mm-hmm.
is that what do you call also that gap? So uh, I'll put it in that way, which maybe a lot of times I talk is people know cigarette smoking is injurious to health. So
Mm-hmm.
being aware of that fact is one.
Mm-hmm.
acknowledging that this is applicable to me and
Mhm.
accepting it that I need to change. So the shift which
Mhm.
you call about,
Mhm.
and then finally to act. So while it's as you say, it'll be a lot about when you talk the awareness and then the shift, and then when you said it, you need to the see the clarity, then the determination, as you said. I don't know what your E
Domination.
is.
D.
The
E.
domination.
E
Yeah,
is
the
E
C
is
is the
execution.
clarity, the D the domination, and
E is
the
execution. E is
the
execution.
E is execution. So where exactly would the execution come from? What push does it need? Does it need somebody like a Parvez being there as a coach to actually handhold that person to? So as I said, you need a accountability partner, someone like a gym trainer to actually push you. So while we pay for the gym on 31st, we actually don't go. So is it something that the gym trainer should come home and actually force you? We also find a lot of excuses not to get out of our bed. So
Right.
where exactly? So there'll be a world where there'll be people who will be determined to do something, and there'll be people who will not be determined. So a lot of times you say just leave these guys alone. They know uh, what is to be done, but they still don't want to do it. But how do we still bring about a transformation in those who
Mhm.
actually don't do it but should do it?
Yeah. So, sorry. So one hypothesis or the wrong hypothesis majority of us has is that transformation is a very simple journey.
Yeah,
So we will make some
it's not. Yeah.
resolutions. Yes. So we will make a resolution on 1st of January, and it will be a very smooth ride, right? So whatever we are, you can say, manifesting, it will convert. So if you want to become a millionaire, after 6 months, we will become millionaire because we are manifesting it. But any transformation is a painful journey, and this is one of the biggest conflict that our brain plays with us. It is more like it is kind of giving us a wrong signal. So, first, if we accept that yes, this journey is going to be a difficult one, but this is my journey, and I shall be accountable. So, the example you talk about gym instructor and or whatever they will push, no, they are just facilitators. They are not going to change. They will not be, he will not be accountable for my transformation. So for example, if he doesn't turn up today or doesn't call me that Parvez, get up in the morning, I will not blame him. It is my journey. It is my accountability. So whatever happens, good or bad, I will take the whole ownership. And one probably thing which, as I in the beginning, which I talked about, if we don't have a clear purpose in life, we will always lose this steam. So, for example, I have a very big purpose which I am kind of pursuing, that by the time I will turn 60 years old, I will impact at least 1 billion people's life. Now, a lot of people may laugh about it, but that's fine. It's their call, right? They may feel it is impossible. This is their call, but I feel I can do that. So, whatever I am doing, whether I am going to office, I am interacting with people, I ensure that I do a right communication so that they are influenced. I ensure that I have a very good executive presence so that at least I can motivate others also to do that. I ensure that I play very bold kind of professional so that they can do that. So day in day out, whatever I'm doing, either in the office or at home or maybe around me, that purpose remains intact in front of my eyes. And that's how probably if I go to colleges or interact or even whatever I'm doing it is a part of the same journey. So alignment of whatever actions I'm taking with a long-term goal and then breaking down into small pieces and enjoy the journey, actually this do a beautiful thing.
So you talked about dreams. So is it something you're talking also of what we call as the big, hairy, audacious goals, and then breaking those goals into small actionable items, and then taking ownership, accountability, and responsibility to achieve that? So is that what you are advocating?
Yes. What I'm looking at is that I have painted a picture of mine, Parvez Siraj, who is now 60 years old. Now, at 60
Yeah.
years old, how do I want to see myself? So, I want to see myself that I would have impacted at least 1 billion lives in one way or
Okay.
another, right? Now, if I am sitting at the age of 60 years old, from here I will see where I am today and what all I need to do to reach here. And then I will break down into small goals, milestones, so that I will not wait till the time I turn 60, but also there should be some milestones so that they will keep on motivating me as well.
Fine. Perfect. Perfect. So, just one last question is, uh, in all the lives you would have impacted so far, what would you take as your biggest success, or what has given you the immense satisfaction? Before Deepak, you can
Yes.
take over next year.
Yeah. So uh, I'm very fortunate enough that in last many years, not just recently, but many years, by virtue of I was working with consulting companies where we interact and change transformations in companies. But I was very keenly looking for where I'm impacting on a personal level. So very often I keep on receiving feedback and inputs from many of my colleagues or members or someone that it has really changed my perspective. And when the perspective is changed, it doesn't change for a day or for a moment. It is changed forever. And I think that is from where their transformation journey starts. And I feel kind of nothing can be a better gift to me if anybody says that my life is changed because of you or because of your intervention.
Fine, fine, thanks. So, Deepak, could please take over?
Yes, thank you, Abhijit, for holding fort. Half an hour is gone, even without realizing that we have been talking about potential, about doing something which we thought is not possible. Having said that, what does unlocking potential even mean for an ordinary person? And let me qualify this question. You know, today morning I may get up and say that, I want to become Sachin Tendulkar, or I may want to become even a better batsman than Virat Kohli. It
Mhm.
is good to, dream big or have a vision board. But if
Mhm.
you want to become like them, and you also mentioned that, I need to practice. I need to get up at 5 o'clock. I need to take the bat. I need to keep on practicing. I need to have a mentor. I need to have that quality and capacity both.
Right.
So, how does one realize that this is something which is something that I can do, or this particular item, even though I may want to become or I would like to have as a skill, this is not my expertise, my domain? Or is it your belief that we can reprogram ourselves and become whoever we want?
I think it's a beautiful question, Deepak ji, and I loved it the way you framed it, right? So, uh, in one of the workshops, I was talking about belief system, and then belief system it was that in a jungle or lion is the king, right?
Yeah.
Even though in none of the three characteristics we pick up. So, for example, if you look at if we go to any zoo, which is the tallest animal,
Giraffe,
which is the strongest animal,
possibly elephant,
and which is the fastest animal.
cheetah.
So if you look at the three key characteristics, even I did not, answer you, right? I mean, you
Yeah.
you yourself answered. In
Yeah.
three key characteristics, the fastest, the strongest, and the tallest. In none of the three characteristics, lion is anywhere. But
Hmm.
he is the king. Why? Because he believes he is the king.
Yeah.
And not only believes it, he has n number of data points from him, from his father, from his forefathers, from many generational, that you are the king, and that's where probably he believes it. So in one of the workshop, one of the student, he asked me, what if a donkey says I am a king, or I feels like a king, right?
Yeah.
So I said that is why he's a donkey.
Hmm.
So, between daydreaming and actually believing, there is a very big difference. So,
Yes.
anybody can think. So, for example, I can also think that, okay, I want to become a Sachin Tendulkar. But it is also important to know or being aware. That's why the awareness plays such a big role. Am I
Yeah.
aware about my potential, or what is my real? So, for example, even though if I today, if tomorrow, if I become Sachin Tendulkar, will it make me happy? Probably
Hmm.
not, because inherently I don't want to become a Sachin Tendulkar. My purpose of life or my happiness is somewhere else. So it is very important to see whether am I inspired by someone else's success, or this is a success I also want to see myself in.
Yeah.
So most of my friends, whatever I'm pursuing, they have a very different purpose altogether. They want to become something different. And I really admire, appreciate, high regards for them. But if they say that Parvez, you are fooling yourself, let it be. Because it is my journey. I want to enjoy it. Right? So awareness plays a very big role. And then the data points do we have? That how many times I have played cricket, how many times I have scored centuries, how many times I have really, took my team away from defeat or so, or how much passionate I am about it. How much time do I have? Can I spend 6 to 7 hours every day and in a pitch or so? Will it allow me? Probably yes. No, it's a question mark.
Yeah.
Right. So awareness plays a very big role. Then the second part, as you said, what will make me happy? Am I inspired by your success, someone else's success? Because that is very transient thing. If we have a right question, then probably our journey will be very different altogether.
Yes. So wonderful, well explained. And now let me take you totally 180 degrees on the other side. We come across people, we read in newspapers, we see on news channels that very, very successful people who have, done that, been there, have, established business, have made thousands of crores of money. And overnight they will decide that I'm giving up everything. I will become a monk. I will, not even wear slippers. And then, I will go and do things which you would never expect them to do. Now, my question to you is, how and why does something like this happen? We are taught of motivation and big goals and achieving this, and everything is possible and unlimited potential. And then you reach one point in your life when you have everything, and then you decide to give up everything, saying, I don't need all this. These are all material possessions. Let me look at other side of life. How does that happen?
Yes, it's a very 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 interesting scenario, right? But whatever I could understand from their journey is that once we reach to a level where whatever we have desired, right? So, for example, if I have dreamt about something, I reach there, and I don't set a goal for the next level, right? So automatically I will feel, अब इसके बाद क्या है? What is left now? Because
Correct.
sometimes, and I think you may also have heard recently there was a startup and he sold it for $2 billion, and the guy was I think hardly 33 years old. He was saying, what should I do now? Because I have $2 billion in my account, I can spend it, even though if I spend it lavishly, whatever I want to do, right? It will be enough for not only this generation, not only in life, but for many generations. What should I do now?
Yes. Yeah.
Now, and that's where, if we don't have a right purpose in place, the vacuum kills us. And I really
Yes.
feel pity about a lot of people, right? That once they reach to a place, whatever they desire, either that stage is so easily available. Sometimes and that's where I'm very non-fond of smart goals, right? So people say always set a smart goal. I'm very anti to this concept, because the moment you set up a smart goal which is achievable, it means like it can be very easily achieved. So set up
Yes.
something which at least needs to transform you to a next level, then you are able to achieve
Yeah.
it. So
Yes.
every transformation journey should be a different version of me. So for example,
Yes.
a lot of people, say, suppose I'm meeting my schoolmate and he says, "Oh, Parvez, oh, you are exactly like what you were 15 years back." So I should not take it as a compliment at all. I
Yeah.
should look at myself. No, I mean, why did he say? I don't want to be what I was 15 years back.
Yeah.
I should be a very different person.
Hmm.
And we feel very good that, oh, somebody says you are exactly the way you were 10 years back, 15 years back. I
Yeah.
want to be a different Parvez version, whatever, 2, 3, 4, whatever, every next day. And until unless I stretch myself, I'll be doing the same thing again and again.
Yes. Yes.
So a
Stretch
lot of
myself.
people, so lot of people, they say I have 20 years of experience. And I
Hmm.
say, you have 1 year of experience multiplied by 20.
Yes. Yes. One year of experience for 20 years. And if it's the same experience, then it really doesn't matter, because
It doesn't
you
matter.
did not
Yes.
go to the next level. You kept on
Yes.
doing what you
Same thing.
kept on doing. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yes. Well said. Now, let's come to this point where, how does one person come to know that what is the kind of potential that exists inside. And again, we are going to a little bit of mindset. And, it is said that the mind has incredible power. It is
Mhm.
also said that we hardly use, 4, 5, 6% of the power of the mind. Even if we were able to make it just 2 or 3 more percent, we would become like, amongst the top 0.01% of the people of the world. So, how does one come to know that this is my expertise, or this is the kind of thing that I have inside me which I need to work on? If I am working on 20 different things, I will never be able to achieve anything. Again, the question comes down to the importance of finding the right mentor and the coach who will be able to tell you this is your expertise or this is something you work on. Your views on that?
Yeah, I think it's a very valid thing. So there is something called we don't know what we don't know. So what is unaware to me, I will be completely unaware, and that's where the
Yes.
coach, the guide, they plays a very big role because
Yeah.
they are able to see a bigger picture. Now,
Yes.
although it's a very sad, you can say, example I'm talking about, but Sushant Singh Rajput, he committed suicide. Now
Yes.
imagine the state of mind he would have been that point of time when he committed. So we only come
Yes.
anyone who thinks about committing a suicide when he feels or she feels, I am good for nothing.
Hmm.
A person who did such a great job, he was kind of nominated in many of his movies. He was so successful,
Yeah.
but any point of time he's thinking I'm good for nothing. It means the
Hmm.
depression has taken over. The fog
Yes.
of depression is so dangerous, or
Hmm.
the self-doubt that I'm good for nothing can kind of, completely wipe out the entire energy. But
Yeah.
outside view, the other
Yeah.
person can simply say, oh, you have such amazing potential. Why are you thinking
Hmm.
about it? Because generally what happens, why we become a victim of self-doubt is when we start comparing the best of other with the worst of ours.
Yes.
And again, it's a part of awareness part. So most
Yeah.
often, and I feel very pity about even parents or siblings or peers, right? So for example, my son is great in mathematics, but I am comparing him with English with the best of, who is a topper in a school, right?
Yes.
And we may have heard a lot of stories about that if you ask fish to climb on the tree, she'll keep on trying rest of
Yes.
his life and they'll
Yeah.
succeed. So
Yeah.
every individual has its own potential, its own way. But if we start comparing him or her or asking
Yes.
or probing into her, automatically, it will go in a very wrong way. So it is
Yeah.
also it's also a role of the people
Yeah.
around us or
Yes.
we are surrounded with, what kind of
Yeah.
ecosystem are we in? It plays a
Hmm.
very big role. So it's not
Yeah.
a very straightforward equation y is equal to mx plus c, where if you change x will change y, but there are
Hmm.
many factors to it. And
Yeah.
if we take the charge of our own life, I'm sure things will change immensely differently.
Yeah. Yes. So Naveen wants to ask a question, and before we go ahead, let me ask him to unmute and go ahead. Ask your question, Naveen.
Yeah, hi Deepak ji, after a long time. So, so the question I have, I won't be able to switch on my camera.
No
My
problem.
question is that I feel like that everyone has equal potential. Like every eagle flies to the highest of the skies. The lion also learns how to attack its prey. I feel every human also has the same potential. So sometimes ask myself that what is that one thing that blinds someone of his potentials? And even if he knows that he has the potential, everyone says that, okay, Naveen, you can do it.
Yeah.
But there is something that stops him. What is that?
So Naveen, if let me just rephrase this question and to answer before, just to make my understanding clear. So you are saying that we all know that we have a potential, but what is holding us back? How to know what is holding us back? Is it the question you are asking?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
every one of us has the potential, but we are blind.
Yes,
Maximum people, they are blind to their own potential.
absolutely. And that's where we are saying awareness. So awareness is something we should introspect and we should interrogate. And I'll tell you an example. Uh, the values that we carry or the belief system that we have, we think they are fact, but actually they are not. and I'm saying at this forum with utmost responsibility, right? So suppose if I'm from Lucknow and my belief is, if my elder people, if they ask a question and if I answer them back, it's a bad thing, right? So it is about the values we have. So every family has a value, we have a culture, we have belief system, whatever it is, right? But until unless we question and see which of the belief systems are pulling me back, and trust me, this is one of the toughest question we should ask ourselves, right? So first of all, we should be bold enough, look into the mirror, stare into our eyes and ask, okay, what is holding me back? If we ask, I'm sure answer we will get the answer. But the problem is we don't accept it, because whenever it comes to our values, our belief system, we by virtue of that we become blind, because we consider it as a fact, but may not be a fact. It is just our own interpretation, our way of looking it, right? So the moment we question them and we take the charge that yes, no matter what, I will change it, then you'll start looking at a different world altogether.
So unlocking means that we have to mentally find it within ourselves. It's not that someone has to come and show us the way.
Yes, as I said, like so it is my own way of thinking is that take the charge of a life. If something goes well, absolutely fine, celebrate, enjoy with yourself, with family. But if something goes wrong, don't blame others. Take the charge of myself. So let me just quote an example. I always say communication is a very highly underrated skill. And why so? Whenever we speak to someone else, if that person doesn't understand, what do we say? It is his or her problem, right? But what I say, if the person doesn't understand, I say it is my problem, because if the person has not understood the thing properly, it means my way of articulation or my understanding about him, what will go well with him, may not have done well. So I will do my own homework, that who is my audience? Will he be comfortable with this example or the different example, right? So I will ensure that based on the recipient I have, I will make my communication strategy, what to say, how much to say, what examples to quote, so that he or she will be able to understand, right? So if we do so, automatically the charge we become, and then our automatically the communication will start improving.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
I resonate with you on that point, because nowadays I see that students are being made to give exams, they fail, and it's actually the teachers who should be given the exams. They should be tested that why did your student fail, because they are the one who taught them. The student is not able to learn. It's not the problem of the student. The student was not taught properly in the way it should be articulated. It should be given the examples. So it is the teacher who has failed if the student fails. It's not the student who fails, which I feel,
so
and that's what's
Naveen,
happening
so
in
yeah,
today's world.
so Naveen, actually, I will look at both the ways. If teacher is introspecting, then he should take the ownership. If it is student, then student should take the ownership. So
Yeah,
whoever is trying to improvise, they should take the ownership.
yeah, both are responsible.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Naveen, for asking that question and for that comprehensive answer. Now, let me take you someplace, and you alluded to this part when Abhijit was asking you the questions. You know, is there something that which we could call as an exercise, or something that we could say that something you must do every day or as a part of your routine? Some people would say do deep breathing. Somebody will say do some meditation. You may say that, create a vision board and try and do creative visualization so you achieve your goal. And just last week I saw a post on LinkedIn where a coach, a person similar to something like what you do, gave an example of that. You know what? One of my mentees created a vision board saying that I want a BMW car. And he put that on his vision board. And in a few months, he has gone ahead and actually, taken a possession, bought a BMW car for himself. Is it as easy as it sounds, or how difficult is it? And which one of these work?
Yeah. So there is a saying like, success has many fathers, failure is an orphan. So
Yeah.
we only see what is visible to us, right? So for example,
Yeah.
somebody is saying he visualized something for BMW. Now today the BMW he has,
Yeah.
but who has seen the hard work, the night he may have or she may have spent many years, right? Day in, day out
Yes.
hard work. So we don't see that
Yes.
part, right? So as I
Yes.
said, like any change, any transformation is not a, it's a painful journey. And
Yeah.
those who achieve it, they definitely undergo a lot of, difficult time,
Hmm.
but they
Hmm.
take the ownership. Although vulnerability or what was my difficult time, people don't talk about it so often on a open forum. They will only share about the good things,
Hmm.
but undercurrent, underwater, there
Yeah.
is a lot of stream, lot of difficult time that they undergo, right? So what I'll
Yes.
just give my example. So I just said like
Sure.
one point of time, when I took this charge that okay, let me take the ownership of my whole life. I listed down 10 my biggest fears that I have, and the top one was public speaking. I wrote down and pasted it on the mirror, and every day I used to get up in the morning. I used to start from the first till 10, and also used to reflect what did I do yesterday on every pointer that I have. And I did it persistently for many years. So
Hmm.
the person who used to kind of sweat to meet any new person, today stand in front of thousands of people and go to IEMs and then address students, which was kind of a dream. It's like a dream for me. I never even thought that I will stand at the auditorium full of IEM graduates and I'll be
Yes.
talking about this topic, which is not my
Yeah.
core topic, by the way. But
Yeah.
as Rumi said, what you seek is seeking you.
Yeah. So, up to now, we have been talking about personal transformation. How can a person change, having goals, having visions, working on that, small efforts, becoming big results over a period of time. I have a book called Compounding the Eighth Wonder, which I have written, which also talks about that.
Mhm.
Finally, every small step adds to something which compounds into a very big thing later on in life, whether it be in money or whether it be in every other sphere. Let's go to organizations, let's go to businesses,
Mhm.
let's go to places where there are large number of individuals and every individual is different. So
Right.
when you say that business transformation, how do you help or strategize businesses to transform, to change? Because now we are dealing with different levels of people. There
Right.
are people right on the top who are CEOs, who are CXOs, CTOs. They are taking decisions, and all that needs to flow down right to the lowest level. How is business transformation different from personal transformation?
Amazing. So one of my biggest learning during my consulting days and now is the problem with communication. So many times we assume that the other person understands that.
Hmm.
So suppose at a CXO level, they want to go for a 3 years transformation journey,
Hmm.
and they hired some external agency or consulting company, and they will just shoot an email and assume that every individual will understand the same thing the way they are thinking about it.
Yeah.
And that is such a false thing. That is the biggest, you can say, self destruction we are creating by assuming that everybody will understand that,
Yes.
because everyone will perceive it very differently.
Hmm.
Now, imagine when we talk about transformation, if the communication is not done properly, thousands of employees will think कि मेरे ऊपर बिजली गिरने वाली है, right? Because every word has a different interpretation.
Yeah.
So because I am working on the transformation for last 15 years. So for me, it's a very positive thing. Okay, let's explore, let's become a different version.
Yeah.
The other person will think, oh, one more transformation, or they will talk about reduce manpower, lay off manpower, reduce all these things, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
it
Yes.
becomes utmost important that there should be a communication right from the top till bottom.
Yeah.
And the messages or the outcome of the transformation should be given to every individual and given
Yes.
a right psychological safety in the
Yes.
beginning itself without people start thinking by their own language.
Yeah.
So in last at least 5 years, I'm very sensitive about communication, and I talk a lot about the you can say what can go wrong versus what can go well with communication. I usually
Hmm.
call that communication is a very underrated thing.
Hmm.
It can make or break anything, not only individual but
Yes.
organization as well.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that was about communication. But when we say how individually, so yes, we ensure that in this transformation journey, what is in it for organization and what is in it for every individual, right? The
Yes.
moment they see that yes, there is a benefit for me, they will
Yeah.
automatically start coming in and become a part of the transformation. Otherwise, they will ensure and
Yeah.
start all possible reason that it should fail if it is not
Yes.
done properly.
Yeah.
Right? So every change has a softer part, which is more actually important than technical piece, which I understood
Yes.
it very later, but yes, it's better late than never.
We have with us Manohar Nimbore. Manohar ji, if you are around, if you are still tuned in, if you could come on camera. Yes, there he is. And you know what? He does something very, very close to what my last question was. He has, been working in different organizations, and today also his job is to lead, large number of people working at the place where he is 20, 30, 50, 100, maybe even 2, 300 people together.
Hmm.
I just want, to ask him also this same question which I asked Parvez. How easy it is difficult to change one person compared to changing 200-300 people who have that vision, where the message has come in from top. हमको ये बदलना है या ये नहीं करना है. We need to transform. Your views, Manohar.
Sir,
Please
I
unmute
mean,
yourself. Yeah.
thank you for asking, but as Mr. Parvez said sometimes back,
Yeah.
he mentioned the awareness. Once we are aware what we need to do, and once we translate that awareness into vision, into employees, in
Yes.
terms of mindset,
Yes.
then life becomes easy because accountability is very high.
Yeah.
Rather than me telling them what needs to be done, they will find out what they have to do next. I mean, that is
Yes.
the role of a leader.
Yeah.
With the vision alignment, strategy, but most important for me is the awareness.
Yeah.
Once we have that, with self and with team, life become easy.
Wonderful, wonderful, Manohar. And just one reminder to everybody who is in this room listening in and who will also probably watch this on YouTube and other channels later. Manohar and Parvez, both in their primary years, in their secondary years in school, were not in English speaking English medium schools. Both are from vernacular mediums. And if you are hearing both of them from the first time, there is no way you will be able to make out that these people grew up in schools, went to schools where the native language, the local language, was not English. So hats off to people like you. It is really, I mean, it's not that we are privileged, but because we were born in the city, our schooling, our college education, everything was done in English. So it was a natural progression. But coming from where both of you and a lot of other people were, to reach to where you have reached, where you are speaking with people, where you are in leadership roles, where you are in transformation roles, hats off to everybody of you. Before we finally close, one last question to Parvez. How easy is it to change? Is it easy to change an individual? Is it easy to change a small business, or is it easy to change a large organization?
There is no, I mean, frankly speaking, there is no right or wrong answer. It's just my perspective
Yeah.
because it depends upon who individual is. So imagine if
Yes.
there is an individual, he or she wants to change,
Yeah.
has a willingness to change and take the ownership, then
Yeah.
just a direction will be suffice. We don't have to kind of do a macro management or probe or ask. They will just fly. Just give
Yes.
them a direction, they will start flying about it, right?
Yeah.
Same thing, goes to organizations as well. If there is a right communication, if there is a right, messaging being done, it
Yeah.
can, do a massive changes and everything. So, but again, I know, I mean, gentlemen also just, supported that statement that the moment we have an awareness and the moment we take the charge of thing, right, then
Yes.
the change is like, of a different level. But
Yeah.
again, it also depends upon who the person is driving that change.
Yes.
So is the intention being clear, or the messaging be clear?
Yeah.
And also, ensuring that everybody is heard, and there is a psychological safety as well. If there is a psychological
Yes.
safety, automatically people come in, and
Yeah.
all these things are like interrelated. They are not in isolation. And
Yeah.
once we do it, then things are very different.
Wonderful. One last question to you before we close. And this question is asking you that, what is that one thing we can do in our everyday lives starting today or maybe even tomorrow that will help us change just that little bit, that will bring about change, that 1% change? And I will also share what I ask people to do in the programs and trainings and coachings where I do, where a lot of people come and tell me, ये तुम कैसा कर सकता है? How are you able to do it? How are you so articulate? This is not easy. This is not difficult. I tell them, from tomorrow morning when you get up, if you are a right-hander, you take your toothbrush in your left hand and brush with your left hand. Try doing it. It's not easy. You may do it tomorrow because I told you today, but because it's a reflex action, when you get up in the morning, your hand automatically goes and picks up the toothbrush and you start brushing your teeth. It's not an active thing which you decide and do. But from tomorrow morning, get up, take the toothbrush in your left hand and brush your teeth with the left. See how things change. This is what I tell people. Tell us something that you would give to your audience or to people who want to change.
I think you have summed it very well. Deepak ji, thank you so much for this piece. I will but give a little different thing. You know, uh, a lot of time we wait for something big to happen to enjoy, wherein we should celebrate every small achievements.
Yes.
And this is my biggest understanding about peace. And so
Yeah.
what I do, that I'm not bothered about output. I'm more
Yeah.
bothered about the process. So I enjoy
Yeah.
process, right?
Yeah.
And when the process is right, my inputs are right, automatically my output will be in my control. The problem
Yes.
is we try to control the output, and that's where the biggest problem happens.
Yes. Yes.
So
You know,
this is what my
let let
learning is. Whatever I
let me share something on the similar line, slightly different than what you said just now. A few months back, my daughter was giving a professional exam, and the result was going to come, and she came late in the evening, and with her face all sad and glum, and said, "Dad, I couldn't pass this exam." I said, "Let's go on a treat. Let's go for dinner out. आज enjoy करते हैं." And you should have seen her face. अरे इसको क्या हो गया है? What has happened to him? कल तक तो ऐसा नहीं था. I have failed and now he's saying let's go out on a treat and let's have dinner. I said no. You gave your best. You tried.
Yes.
You were locked up in that room for 24 hours, going into all these big, thick books. You gave your best. You went for the exam. We paid the fees. You didn't pass. No problem. There is always another chance. And she's preparing for that chance again for the next few days. She's going to give that exam again. I'm saying this is what we need to change. We were brought up in that traditional mode where ये सही है, ये गलत है, ये करना चाहिए, ये नहीं करना चाहिए. Do things differently. Do things that may think or may sound weird, but that will probably give you transformation. That will probably give you change. That will also give you a lot of joy, and to all those who are there in and around you. Thank you, Parvej, for joining in today. It's almost more than an hour where we've been talking, asking questions, you giving us wonderful, great examples. We hope to connect with you again in the future, probably in some sort of offline session, in some sort of corporate connect with you or whatever. Till then, thank you, everybody. Change is inevitable, always, as Amit says. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on a Sunday afternoon. Our family is waiting.
Can we have a few words from Harish ji, because he also speaks on mindset and
Yes,
abundance.
Harish ji. Yes. Harish ji, aaiye. Yeah.
Thank you very much for.
Yeah.
Parvej, what I feel is only one change which can affect is the belief in yourself. The moment you keep saying to yourself, I believe in myself,
Yes.
everything flows.
Yes.
Because it reflects every action of yours. And when you want to change people around you, they should see the change in you, who you were, who you are, and who you have become today. So it's all about attention, focus, and energy, which is
Yeah.
what I speak about.
Yeah.
When attention, focus, and energy comes into being,
Yeah.
and you have a strong belief in yourself, things change.
Yes.
And keep speaking about this 24/7. That should be your strongest habit.
Yes.
So that's my 2 words on this. I wish I could speak more, but some other time. Thank you.
Thank
So
you. Thank you, Harish
Harish ji,
ji.
thank you so much. Maybe you have instigated me to share one last thing before we wrap it up, right?
Yeah.
And probably what I do is, until unless I have a conviction for something, I don't talk about it.
Yeah.
So whatever I'm talking about, belief system,
Yeah.
communication, mindset, I started 5 years back, but I have started talking about it just 6 months, back. Otherwise, I knew this concept, but when I tested it myself, I knew that yes, and when we have a very strong conviction, it appears in our body language as well. You can look at my
Yes.
tone, my the way I speak. Otherwise,
Yeah.
these are just mere words. And when we have a
Yeah.
conviction, as Hariji said, there is a magnetic force into it, and it just attracts. So with this, I think
Yes.
thank you so much for
You
inviting me.
know what? In 2012, I learned this skill called the law of attraction. You attract more of what you want and less of what you don't want when you know what you want.
Right.
So I've been practicing it from 2012 onwards. It's a life changing win. You really will attract, provided you give attention, focus, and energy. Thank you.
Before officially closing and before Amit reminds me that we have to sing a song, there was one song when we were very, very small, and it was a black and white song. I think it is 60, 70 years old song, but I think it fits perfectly into today's discussion, although more related to children. Black and white zamane ka song. Amit, this one is for you.
Thank you.
नन्हे मुन्ने बच्चे तेरी मुट्ठी में क्या है ना मुट्ठी में
में
है
है
तकदीर
तकदीर
हमारी
हमारी.
Oh, beautiful,
हमने किस्मत
beautiful.
को बस में किया है. So everything is something which is there in your hand. It is your capacity. It is there inside you. You need to know what is possible, and then you need to reach out to somebody who can help it, extract it out for you, work on it, and see to it that you become successful and help you not only change yourself but change the world. Thank you everybody for joining in, and hope to see you next Sunday on another episode of the Sunday Bloom Talk Show with another person talking about some other topic which will help us become better than where we were today. Thank you everyone, and God bless.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a nice day, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
You.